Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Do first, and we started this a couple of years ago, we want to recognize those 3 teachers of the year and those 3 principals of the year. We did want you to understand the Terrebonne Foundation for Academic Excellence is set up to support the school system, but this is not an award coming, obviously the award tonight is coming from us, but this is not something we choose. This is done by the school system, which is awesome. It means it's your peers and your people who are doing this within your school system. So that's sort of why you didn't get to go first as opposed to the inspirational educators and those folks. It was because that is the TFAE who reads essays and things like that, and that's how those people are chosen. So we did want you to understand that, but we are very excited to have those teachers of the year here with us, and TFAE would like to extend them a token of our appreciation for what they do in the classroom. So now, Winnie, I'm not joking. You have to hurry up and finish. So, ladies and gentlemen, Winnie Pellegrin is the president of our TFAE board. How about a round of applause for Winnie? Winnie is a 33-year retiree of the school system who is just doing what she does because she cares for what's happening in the schools. And of course, Ashley Barahona is going to be with us. Ashley is our executive director. They are going to take a picture after we give this award to each of these teachers and principals. The protocol, we call you up, you come up, you're going to take a picture by, I think Mary's going to do this, professional photographer. And that being said, make sure that you don't get your award and run back to your seat. So first, we would like to introduce to you the elementary teacher of the year for Terrebonne Parish, Miss Christy Trish from Berg Elementary. Again, how about a nice round of applause for Christy? And now, our middle school junior high teacher of the year from Grand Kaya Middle, Miss Leah Wazan. Nice round of applause for Leah. And finally, our secondary/high school teacher of the year from H.L. Bourgeois High School, Miss Christine Spees. Nice round of applause for Christine. And now on to our principals of the year. First, our elementary principal of the year from Village East, Miss Therese LeBlanc. Nice round of applause for Therese. Our middle school junior high teacher of the year, Ms. Juliette Gautreau. Nice round of applause for Juliet. And finally, our secondary high school teacher principal of the year, who couldn't be with us tonight because she is at a school function tonight, and that is Miss Cassana Moses of H.L. Bourgeois High School. Now, if we could, I would like to have Mr. Bubba Ogeron, our superintendent of schools, come up, just share a few words with us as we start to recognize our inspirational teachers and our distinguished scholars.
TFAE, we thank you for your partnership, sincerely. What you do for literacy with kids, Ashley, and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, that is more appreciated than y'all may know from us. I mean, putting print material in kids' hands at an early age pays big dividends. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for preparing new teachers with monies to kind of get started in their classrooms and the grants for innovative ideas. We so appreciate all that you do for us. We really do. Principals of the Year. You're going to be on the billboard next after Teachers of the Year's billboard rotates to another spot. So they're going to be on a little billboard tour. We're going to blast their faces all over the place. So we're very, very proud of you guys. Juliet, we're praying for you, and we're so thankful. You're back in school. She's back in giving it 100%. So we're proud of that. Therese is going to be the next principal of Houma Junior High, starting next year. So we're excited about that. And we couldn't have three better teachers of the year. They're phenomenal. They are so good. I've seen all of them in action, and they get good results, and they are just so good for kids. So thank you all, teachers. But tonight, kids, it's about you, students. It's about you and you putting yourself out there tonight. You've done that with your stories, making us aware of where you're at to get to this point. So thank you all for being vulnerable. And picking a teacher that has poured in, or a counselor in some cases, or different people in your life that poured in. Teachers, thank you for doing that. I'm sure it's beyond this one kid that you've poured in, but these kids felt that you were that person for them. So we thank you for that. So thank you all for being here. TFE, again, thank you for putting this on tonight so much.
Thank you, Bubba. Did want to mention one thing before we get to Ashley. Since 1991, when TFAE began, $1.7 million have been raised to go to public education. And I think there are a lot of teachers in here, a lot of administrators in here that can tell you, especially in the last maybe 4 years, after COVID, after Ida, that it's been instrumental on getting back on your feet. So again, very proud of what TFAE does as a whole and sort of the vision that they have. Because I'm going to say this, there are a lot of people who are in TFAE as executive board members who don't have children anymore that are in the school system, or maybe didn't have children that were in the public school system. So that being said, they're just here to support you. So thank you very much. And with all of that, I'm thinking to myself, I hope I didn't steal Ashley's thunder. Our executive director, Ashley Barahona.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. Yeah, between Mr. Orgeron and Stan, I mean, I don't even know why I'm up here, but I do have to say thank you to Stan and also Dustin Robichaux, the man behind the tiny little camera this year. Also want to thank the Terrebonne Power School District for opening up the schools and allowing us to conduct these interviews and being able to honor our students and teachers year after year. We really could not do it without the support of the school system. Also, shout out to Team Terrebonne and our sponsors. I tell you, every year I come to my sponsors and they don't even bat an eye. They're like, absolutely, we're on board. So definitely takes a village to do this event, and I really appreciate every single one of you. So you might be thinking, what is a distinguished scholar? What is an inspirational educator? And how did that become that these individuals are actually sitting in the seats tonight? So we asked all the high schools and TCT to nominate as many kids that they thought fit our criteria. From there, they turned in 6 of those nominations to TFAE. TFAE has a committee of readers, an anonymous committee of readers who actually score those packets of information based on a criteria, and the top 2 are then decided as our distinguished scholars. So that's how you guys came to sit in these seats. And I can tell you, even though the schools only turned in 6, some of the schools had over 15 and 20 nominations. So that just goes and it shows you. And then our inspirational educators, well, I'll get to that in a second, but our distinguished scholar is a student who has not only overcome some big obstacles and challenges in their life, but has excelled exponentially. I've gotten to know these distinguished scholars over the last few weeks, and I can tell you, they are the most humble, hardworking, determined young adults I've ever met. As a parent, a guardian, teachers, community leaders, and community members, we should all be very proud of these individuals, and it gives me hope for the future as well. Especially during the most trying years, from the pandemic to the devastation of Hurricane Ida, from still probably being taught out of portables, these young adults have overcome not only their own diversities, but also the challenges the world has thrown their way. For their courageous feat, we honor them as our distinguished scholars. Our inspirational educators that are in the room tonight, you have been chosen by your own very own distinguished scholar. We asked your scholar to think back all the way to kindergarten. Think about that teacher that has touched their heart. Maybe it was a guidance counselor, somebody who was in the educational system, who inspired them, encouraged them, helped them overcome their challenges. You were chosen as their inspirational educator. This speaks volumes on the impact one smile, one hug, and one caring person has on this world. And I'll say this every year. It's my most favorite quote. It never grows old. Every child is one caring adult away from being a success. Thank you to those inspirational educators for being that person that listens, encourages, inspires, but most importantly, who cares. So, with no further ado, we recognize our 2024 Distinguished Scholars and Inspirational Educators.
So here is the format that we do this. And for those of you who have been before in the past, we've tried everything. We want to hit it just right. This used to be at Cypress Columns. It was at the Civic Center. We wanted it to be a little bit more intimate. We're here. We actually read some of the essays about 5 or 6 years ago, which was cringeworthy, quite honestly. It wasn't, you know. So, and I lead up to this because I have to thank some people along the way. About maybe 4 years ago, right before COVID, we had a TFAE meeting, and I mentioned that it would be great if we could do videos, and they was like, who could do that? And I said, man, I taught multimedia at South Terrebonne. I could do that. Oh, South Terrebonne, people are laughing. They said, so can you get away from your present job? And I went to my CEO, Phyllis Peoples here, and she said, Stan, you could do anything you want. This is anything you want to promote what's happening in our school system. That's why you were hired here. And I said, okay, we're going to take that and we're going to run with it. So we changed it and we sort of tweaked it a little bit. So basically what you're going to see is an interview with the inspirational teacher and a distinguished scholar sitting right next to each other, being peppered with questions. And you're going to find out. This is made for all of you general laymen who are not in education, so you can realize how good things are there when all you get is hearing bad things. This is made for Bubba Ogeron so that he could sit there and go, that's what I got in my school system. It truly is. Next, all of you administrators, thank you for allowing us in your school. She mentioned Dustin Robichaud. Dustin was a multimedia at South Terrebonne, but I took him here too. Dustin came in and filmed, and when we put this together, we wanted it in a way that you understand a little bit more about these individuals, right? So they're about 5 minutes apiece. They will play first, and then we will call the distinguished scholar and the inspirational educator up. okay? So here we go. Without further ado,
I went to school in New Orleans, and of course, we had high school counselors, and they were just focused on a select group of students. And I wasn't in that select group of students. So I figured, when I grew up, I would become a counselor, a guidance counselor, and I wanted all students to have opportunities, like equal opportunities, whether it's career, college, garbage truck driver. Like I wanted to include all students and not just the ones that they felt like had potential.
After I graduate from South Terrebonne High School, I plan on attending Nicholls State University for nursing. And I plan on getting my NP, which is a nurse practitioner, to become a pediatric nurse practitioner. And then once I go ahead and finish a few years, I plan on going back to school and go to FRAMU and get my CRNA.
Abby has an extremely positive personality. She's 100% a go-getter, super high energy, which keeps me on my toes. But I feel like the word that comes to mind the most is conscientious. Like, she wants to do well, she strives to do well. And even though she's had, a few setbacks in the elementary school level, like, she's learned to adapt, like, her way of thinking and kind of adjust to, like, what's good for her. Just to give you an example, she was studying for anatomy and physiology for Nicholls, and she was talking about the bones in her hands and things, and she had like a little, what is it, an anonym? What is it called? And like every good boy does fine for band, and she was pointing at this, that, and the other. It's just like she's visual, right? So listening and actually using that textbook, it's helpful, but for her, I feel like she's a visual learner. She found a way to adjust and like to persevere.
I have a very good family at home that really pushes me to go ahead and exceed in my schoolwork. They really appreciate all of the hard work I put in and with all of my grades and stuff like that. But what motivates me, I would have to say, of achieving my goal of becoming a nurse and to save lives for a living.
I would say the first memorable moment of Abby, I'm sitting in my office, I'm talking to another student, and I can see her out the corner of my eye waiting to speak with me because my door is open, right? And as soon as I finished with the student, I walk to my door, and she's like, "Miss Fields, I went up 4 points on my ACT, blah, blah, blah." So like, she's jumping up and down, we're high-fiving, like we're both excited. The other counselors are like singing, we're dancing, because that's unheard of. The second one, she kind of hangs out in the guidance office just a little bit because she takes so many dual enrollment classes and AP classes. She had some free time. And she was sitting at the table, kind of doing some work, and we were going over to Montague Middle to schedule the 8th graders who were going to 9th grade. And I asked her, if she would like to come with us to, talk to the 8th grade class, and she was like, yeah. So she came in to Miss Wesley's class, and it was like the kids were so interested in what she had to say about, high school, her experiences. She had their attention, and it was just a proud moment for me because I'm like, she's still a young adult. Like, I felt like they paid attention to her way more than they paid attention to me, so.
First time that I met Ms. Fields, I actually went go talk, okay, not in trouble, but I had to go talk to the SRO, and this lady was a very nice lady, but she was a very short, intimidating lady, and I'm the type of student that if I ever get called to the office, I'm immediately panicking. So I got called to the office because I ended up losing my Chromebook charger because I let a friend borrow it, and we just lost it. So I was like, oh my God, like, I hope it's in the office, blah, blah, blah. So I go talk to this lady, and she's just like, well, if you can't find it, you're gonna have to pay this fee. So it's not a big deal, but I end up walking out of the office, and I'm starting to bawl. I'm crying my eyes out. And Ms. Fields is talking to other student at South Terrebonne High School. His name's Cody LaBeouf. And Cody is a very I love Cody. Cody's very energetic, and they see me crying my eyes out leaving this office. And this is whenever we were not at Saltaire, but when we were at HL Bourgeois because of Ida. And anyway, I never met Miss Field, never even knew she existed. And she was like, hey, what, like, hey, stop, like, what's so wrong? And I'm just like, no, like, I'm okay. And then she's just like, oh no, you're not, come sit down, and stuff like that. And I'm bawling, hysterically crying. I'm like, it's okay, I'm okay, and stuff like that. And Miss Fields is just trying to calm me down, poor thing. And I'm just telling her about my Chromebook charger. She's like, no, we actually have a Chromebook charger that got, like, returned over here, and it was my Chromebook charger. But I ended up meeting Miss Fields, and I was like, oh, she's gonna be an important person in my life, so.
I struggled with that question. High school, I wasn't the best kid at all. Discipline-wise, grade-wise, it wasn't me. School wasn't for me. But Miss Patricia McGuire Hill was my English 4 teacher, and she was the first person that actually said, hey, kid, you have potential. And I was like, wait, me? Are you sure? Like, I have potential? And she was like, yeah. And because of that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can go to college and do something, you know? The other person that I thought about is Mr. Graham Douglas. When Terrebonne High School had a position open, they had seasoned counselors, Ms. Pam Maye and Ms. Christina Felgu. I thought it would be a great opportunity to, you know, kind of learn how to be a real counselor under those people. So I interviewed with Mr. Graham Douglas, and he actually gave me a shot, right? So he saw something in me that I had some potential.
Miss Fields wasn't even my counselor, but I would go to her for everything. Because my junior year, I started going ahead and taking dual enrollment classes at Nichols, and she was the dual enrollment counselor. So I remember, like, I was with my 2 friends, and we would just go to Miss Fields. Miss Fields was like, hold on, I'm not even your counselor. But she would still answer all my questions, and she was just always there.
I would like to say Kenya has been here before. It's not the first time. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Kenya and Ada.
I chose to teach because initially I went into school for nursing. I did go to Nichols. I got my RN degree. I did work in the field for a while. I had 1 kid, and then I got pregnant for another. And I decided I wanted to be a teacher. And everybody's like, you crazy. And I was like, no, this is what I really want to do. And my mom actually drives the bus here, which she's been driving since I was little. And she told me, this was back in 2018. She tells me, Chelsea, she said, they have a nursing position open for teaching. And I said, no, they never become available, you're lying. And she said, I'm serious. So I started that next year in August. I didn't know what I was doing. So I kind of just winged it until, I just made it, and I loved it. It was inspirational, to walk into the class the first day with the students and see where they start and how they don't want to do this. And they're like, I can't do that. And at the end, you look at them and they've grown into this woman or this man, and they're ready for that career.
After I graduate from Ellender, I plan on having my CNA license and maybe getting a job in the nursing home or the hospital. And I'm going to college for the fall semester at Nichols to get my bachelor's in nursing. And I'm gonna just be focused on school and doing what I love.
When Ariane first came into my class, she sat right there, quiet, didn't say anything. She did her work, but never, she was just to herself. And as the years going by, our class is like a family. They come in here, there's not a day that goes by that they're not laughing, singing, dancing. Of course, we do our work too, but they do have fun while doing it. So she has opened up a lot. she does go to Ellender, so when all the other kids leave, we kind of get that extra time to kind of talk every now and then. And, you know, she's told me what she wanted to do in life, and I kind of tried to guide her in the right direction of where she needed to go or who she needed to talk to. We go to the nursing home, and they actually do patient care on actual patients. And to see her there in her environment, I'm about to cry, but I have no doubt that she'll be a great nurse one day.
My family and doing good for them and being a good role model for my little siblings, and then of course keeping myself and my future family. I want to do good for my own self and my family.
Just a pleasure to have her.
I was really nervous for how it would react and how it would perform in a setting like this, knowing that I have to work with other people and being the shy person that I am. So I was just really nervous.
My inspirational teacher would have to be Miss Margaret Williams. She was a teacher at Montague Elementary. I think she was like my second grade teacher, I want to say. She was very strict. You walked in her class and you walked that line and you walked it right. I guess she inspired me because, you know, she always pushed you, you know, even in second grade, you know, she always wanted you to do your best. And till this day, she sent me a graduation present when I graduated college, and we just kind of stayed, you know, connected.
Ever since I even started coming here, I felt like she always pushed me to do better, work better, perform better. She's always done stuff for me. She's helped me, like, any questions I had about when I was applying to Nichols, she was helping me. She's always just, you know, made sure I was on the right path. She helped me anytime. She's just an amazing teacher, the way she teaches, how she really cares for her students, and she really would do anything for her students, and you can tell that she really loves being a teacher, and I really appreciate that about her.
Again, a nice round of applause for Ariane and Chelsea.
Well, the spark way back when, I can't tell you it was about, ooh, I love kids, because that's everybody's answer. It was something different. It was just a calling. And I fought the calling, but it kept calling, so I answered it, and I love English, so that's why. And to be honest, kids like her are reasons I continue to stay doing what I do, because I truly do like working with the young adults.
After I graduate from H.L. Bourgeois, I plan to go to Nichols to get a degree in journalism through the mass communication department. I'd probably be a journalist, obviously, being in journalism, but it could be behind the camera or just writing for the public. I think writing takes a lot of the problems in the world and it brings it to light.
Isabella is a caring young lady. She relies heavily upon her faith, and I think it's, you know, phenomenal that she can stand by that in a high school public setting. When it's not popular for everyone. She has a determination, she has a work ethic. She's also very like a mama in the classroom. If something's not happening or moving fast enough, she's like, okay, let's go. You know, always getting me to redirect or whatever. But she's just special.
I think I'm motivated to do well in school because I see how other situations have taken people down the wrong path or just they don't do well, and I feel like I have to push myself to be the best that I can be because I don't really want to like have a bad future for myself, and I believe that the way I was raised has really helped that. My parents have always pushed me to do what's best, and obviously through my faith, I'm trying to do the best for not only myself, but everybody else.
Her family went through some obstacles after Hurricane Ida, you know, with home problems, etc. And so they've been having to live out of a trailer for quite some time, and she really hasn't let that slow her down. I mean, we'll talk about it, but as far as her performance and her personality, she doesn't miss a beat. And I think it's because of her faith that she holds on to. Just a phenomenal young lady.
Funny thing is, my uncle was a student of hers, and so I definitely heard about that the first day of school. Hey, I taught your uncle. I'm getting old. Oh man, I need to retire. Oh man, I honestly thought on the first day of school, my junior year when I first had her, I was thinking that it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I thought that it was crazy because she was really hyper. Obviously she's gonna be excited because it's the first day of school, but she did a really good job trying to get to know her students. And then I think maybe the second day or like the third day, we dove straight into everything, and she just made everything really fun.
She's just so bubbly, and no matter what I ask her to do, she does it. So we had an activity, and I had shared a picture with you of her with a beard on for the Canterbury Tales, and we brought the characters to life. And she pulled this character, the Miller, and she's like, how am I gonna do that? I said, you will figure it out. And so she came in here with a beard and her little flute and her garb to put on, and she really did an outstanding job with that.
I chose Miss Overly as my inspirational educator because she has stood out among all of my teachers. She has not only obviously taught the kids, but she's made everybody think deeper into like not only like the surface meaning, but what we can truly learn from everything. And she sparks creativity in everybody. I see people that like don't put effort into things, and then they just shine through other things that we have to do in class.
I have an athletic world and I have an educational world. So I would have to say Coach Albert really inspired me. As far as the coach and the teacher in him, seeing how he pulled it all together, I don't think he slept. There's no way he could have slept. So he was a big inspiration for me. And then I would have to say in the academic world, Arlene Domingue and Diana Galliano in the English world brought my love of English forefront. And I still use some of the activities we did back in the day, you know, from them.
She's becoming more, not so much of a teacher, but like a mentor, and she can be considered like a really great person.
Nice round of applause for Jerry and Isabella.
I don't feel that I chose education. I feel like education kind of found me. I was a professional photographer for about 10 years. I was doing teaching after-school band in a lot of different high schools in Lafourche Parish and Terrebonne Parish as well. And I was actually asked by the Lafourche Parish Sped Department to come in and judge the Bayou Idol. I was approached by Daphne Jones in Lafourche Parish, and she said, Jacob, I really think you need to look into being a talented art teacher. I applied for just a general position. I got a call from Mary Oakwell the next day, and it kind of became to be, I was an emergency hire and got the job, and I just fell in love with it. I thought that I would never leave Lafourche Parish. Being from Thibodaux my entire life, going to Nichols and things like that, I never thought that I would leave Lafourche Parish and leave Thibodaux. The Talented Art Program truly is a special thing, especially right now. We have the opportunity to teach students potentially from the 3rd grade all the way until they graduate from high school. For the Talented Art teacher, we really get to cultivate a closer relationship with these kids. We kind of become, a lot of the kids have told me like maybe their older brother or maybe their parent figure in their life as we get to grow with them through their educational journey.
After I graduate from Ellender, I plan on going to LSU to major in mathematics with a concentration of actuarial science to become an actuary.
I met Kathy several years ago, right after Hurricane Ida. We were platooning at another school, so we were not at Ellender Memorial High School, and she tested in the middle of the school year. It was just more of a one-on-one situation. She's a band member for the Ellender Memorial High School band program. This year she's doing concert band. And as a musician, as a vocalist and a percussionist, but really a musician, we definitely bonded over the fact that we both have a deeper joy for music. And obviously her grades speak for themselves. She's an excellent student. Her and her friend group made it very easy to have very relaxed talented art sessions week to week.
My motivation to work hard at school is mostly my mom. She sacrificed a lot and she came here with like nothing and she didn't graduate from high school. So for me to complete high school and complete college and stuff like that, to have a successful career is really what motivates me for my mom, because she expects me to like take care of her, because that's like how it is in Vietnamese culture. So I really want to like take care of her when I'm older and like just work hard and succeed like her.
Well, I think sadly it wasn't even when I was her teacher. Mark Orgeron is now her teacher here at Ellender Memorial High School. I was so proud of her whenever her art was able to be showcased across the parish through HTV when she got second place in the superintendent's Christmas card contest. So I didn't even work with her on that, but I was so proud to say that that was one of my students.
Well, I've heard of him from my friends before because they were in talented art before me. So they talked about him and they were like, oh yeah, he's a really good teacher, you know, he's really fun, and he was like very chill, like one of those like lenient teachers, and I was like, oh okay. So that kind of like one of the factors why I joined talented art. But then like once I'm in there, I was like, yeah, what they said was true. And so afterwards, like I'm so excited to be in here because like I'm able to like talk to him more.
I got to kind of move around with Mr. Blaise Pellegrin for a few years. He was actually the principal that hired me at South Terrebonne when I was officially hired the year after I started. So I got to know him through that, and then he moved over here. He was the principal at Ellender Memorial High School, and I was extremely impressed with how he was I saw the things that he was changing, and I saw the culture he was creating here at this school. That was very inspiring. He was moved to special education, and they were looking for their new principal, so I was so proud to see that I knew she was the right person for the job. Just the bright light that she is for these students in this community, I think she would be my inspirational teacher, Dr. Grant. I think she's just doing a fabulous job. She was my go-to person for all of our IEPs and special education needs at this school, and she always I felt like I was being put first, which made me feel very proud to see that there was a mutual respect for the special education program over here at Ellender Memorial High School.
He helped me with like my art and stuff, because when I first joined, I had no idea what to do. Like when I do my portfolio for the process to join talented art, I had some of my friends help me, but even then I was struggling. But once I met him and he taught me some stuff and pointers and tips and stuff like that, I was like, okay, so I got it now. And he helped me with my passion of art and continue it. Also with music, because we also talked about music too. So that helped me be a better musician and a painter, because I mostly paint. So his tips was really, really helpful, and he really helped my passion for art.
Again, a nice round of applause for Kathy and Jacob.
I chose to become an educator because when I finished high school, I was working at the Girl Scout camp, Camp Whispering Pines, and it was really my first experience working with kids. I had them 24 hours a day. I taught swim lessons, we went river canoeing, all kind of different things. And originally my major was marine biology. And as I went through the year, I just realized that wasn't what I really intended it to be. And I kept going back to how much I enjoyed working with the kids during this summer and how much I enjoyed watching the growth that they made and their smiles and everything else. And at that point, I decided that I really wanted to go into education and be a teacher and work with kids.
After graduating from Terrebonne, I plan on attending LSU and majoring in computer science. I want to be an ethical hacker.
So Evelyn is one of my favorite people in general. She is a ray of sunshine. She's always smiling and giggly. As a student, she is she's very studious. She makes sure she gets everything done, but she does it in a way that she can fit in so many different things. Like, it's not just she does schoolwork. At one point, she was juggling cross country and flags and swim team and still pulling a 4.0. She just manages to do them all with grace and never shirks her responsibility from one or the other. And I just think that that's just an amazing quality in a student in general. On the pool deck, which is where we spent most of our time, she always takes everything that you say. You don't have to repeat things to her. If you correct something, she genuinely works on it until she gets it.
I'm motivated to do well in school because I want to attend college, and to attend college you have to have good grades.
She owns everything about herself, and I've often, been so envious of that because it's not a quality I have, for myself. And so I love the fact that she just is always willing to be her.
My first memory of Miss Williams is at swim practice, her always telling me to put my head in the water, and I kept refusing to do it for years.
She was probably like 3 or 4, and I kept drawing my eye. Her mom would throw this baby doll into the pool, and she would jump in and go swim to the middle of the pool and bring it back to the side. And just that confidence of going out there by herself so young. And so as I was leaving the pool deck, I stopped to talk to her mom, about, her and maybe swim team. Just even from that age, that independence, that willingness to just put it all out there and go and do it. I've always loved that about her.
I chose Miss Williams because she's been there for me for 15 years, and she's had the most impact on my life. She gave me confidence in other things in life, and she helped teach me how to swim.
I've had a lot of great teachers over the years. I will say that school is not an easy thing for me. I actually was a student that very much had to study and had to work very hard in the classroom just to make, average to semi-above average grades. And, I always had a lot of teachers who were willing to work with me, but Miss Jones probably was my inspirational teacher. She taught me here for world history in 9th grade. And she started my love of history. I had a lot of, great teachers after her that taught history, but she always has just stuck out in my mind as being a great teacher. And even when I went on, graduated high school, went to college, I came back and was teaching. She was a principal at H.L. Bourgeois. And I can remember coaching for Terrebonne, and she's at the end of the lanes cheering for her kids. And I'm like, that is exactly how she was in the classroom with us. I mean, she just wanted the best for her students, and it carried through all the way through her career.
I like swimming the best because the teammates there are a lot friendlier and they're a lot closer because we've been together for so long, and it has the nicest coach.
Another hand for Evelyn and Amy.
chose education originally for logistic reasons. I went to school and got a business degree and had all these plans to go into sales, and then I got married and then got pregnant during my senior year of college and realized teacher hours seemed like a really good idea. And so I kind of landed here for logistic reasons and then stuck around because it just became my identity. I loved it from day one. I was given some really good opportunities to see the parish and just fell in love with it.
After South Terrebonne, I plan on going to Nichols. I'm signed to go play baseball over there, and I'm gonna go major in pre-athletic training, kinesiology. And then after I finish my 4 years there, I have another 2.5 or so years, and I'll probably either go to UL or Southeastern and finish the real, athletic training.
So Logan came in his freshman year with this unbound energy, unbound confidence. I did not teach him for English 1, but he sure came in my English 1 class, in my English 2 class on the regular to make sure I heard his voice. He just needed me to know he was around. And he threw himself into student council. He ran for class officer. He's been class president, I think, all 4 years.
No, just
sophomore on. So he was just real involved from day one, and was just always around and made sure everyone knew he was around, and in a positive way.
From the day one, I've had all my old coaches. They used to tell me, you have to study in school. You have to have above whatever GPA, or else you're not gonna be able to continue playing baseball. So that just really kept me in school. And then I guess just once getting into high school, I just wanted to be the best athlete and student combined. I just wanted, it was just my competitive nature.
So I taught him for English 2, and that was actually when we were at Bourgeois. So that was an interesting year for everybody involved after the storm, and it was always, he very much became that year one of my go-to people. When I needed something done, I knew I could rely on him, but also just when I needed something, I knew he was there. He balanced me out in a lot of ways. He could kind of call me out on hey, you need to take a breath. He just was my go-to person in a lot of ways, and that stuck through now.
We was back in the old building, and I think I was going into Miss Galicio's class, and I had all my good friends like Jackson, Henry, and Austin and all in that class. So I just popped my head in at first, and then I see there's an open desk. So I just went and I sat in the very front row, right in front of the board, and she starts teaching, and she's like, "You're not in here, what are you doing?" And then ever since then, it just turned into an everyday thing. I just went in there, sat in the desk.
I think watching him play baseball was always one of my favorite things. I loved watching him play ball that sophomore year when they won the state championship. I went to the quarterfinals at South Lafourche, and he had a big hit to, I think, finish the game. I think that was the game-winning hit, and I just lost it. It was like my own kid out there hitting that ball. I was so excited, and that whole season was just so fun. And he had gotten an offer from Nichols to play. And it was just such a full circle, so proud, just this unbelievable amount of pride in all that he accomplished.
She was always just there, always available. And then even after the storm, she got me into actually becoming involved, she says that I have a natural leadership ability. So she really got me into class president, student council, honor society. She's made me become involved, and then after all the adversity, she was just always there, just to talk to whenever I needed it.
Coming out of high school, my answer 100% for a lot of reasons was always Angie Walsh. She is somebody that I still think of. She brought an energy to our school that I strive for all the time. And when things got rough after COVID and the hurricane, I would often think okay, somebody has to change the tide. Somebody's got to change the culture. We've got to bring back this energy, bring back the spirit. And she was the kind of person that could do that. And I always wanted to do that for this school, to bring that kind of positivity and acceptance. I also think often about Miss Diana Perkins. She was an instructional coach at Ellender when I started teaching. My very first year teaching English, she was an instructional coach there. And she was the epitome of mentors. She knew how to hold my hand, but let me have my independence. She was just so actively involved, and she just taught me so much about being fair, being open to new ideas, learning how to research, learning how to apply new ideas. And I still think of her all the time because she just made me a teacher.
Ladies and gentlemen, Logan and Katie.
Well, I've always been in the air conditioner field, in the electrical field, and it got to a point where I was helping people in the field, and they made me kind of a trainer. And from that, I actually moved forward and actually started up the program for Blue Cliff College, the air conditioner section of it. And then I went on to help train all of Schwess's engineers at their facility in Galliano. And I got a phone call one day from an electrical teacher at TCT, and they were like, man, I think you would be a good fit over here to help some of the younger kids to kind of grow the industry's needs, what we're looking for. And I went there and I met with Mr. Simmons, and really great guy, and that really drove me over the edge of that's what I'm going to do. And when I got there, it was like a family, and I knew that that's where I wanted to be, to help these kids grow into something that would help them in the future.
After I graduate from Terrebonne, I plan on going to Fletcher to further my education to become a lineman.
She actually got transferred into my class from another class, and which she put her a little bit behind. So I explained to them, her and another student, what they had to do. And basically from that point, you could see the drive in her to want to do better, not only with book work, but we would go into the lab, and she really wanted to know how to do everything. And she wasn't afraid to ask questions. Now she was unsure on a lot of things, but once she got it, she got it. And she really put everything into what it took, whether it was book work or the lab, and actually performing those skills. We did take her to Skills USA last year, where she actually put those together, and she won silver medalist for the state. I think she has every bit of the skill set and the mindset to do something great with the electrical or anything like that.
What motivates me is to just do good on electrical. I never knew anything of it when I first went into it, but I picked up on it really quickly. And I thought, well, since picking up on it quick, I figured that's something I should be in.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was the first year that I had her, and it was, after a few months. And at one point, because I try to explain everything, I got the big projector board going, and I'm trying to explain. I got visual things, and we were doing DC theory. So it was a lot of math involved and everything, and you could see when she got it, you could just tell, and she started helping everybody in class, kind of like another teacher, if you would, which helped me, because sometimes, the younger students can help the younger students, instead of hearing an older person talk all the time. So, but you could really see how she got it, and she was explaining to everybody, and it was like, man, if they could all get it just like that, that'd be great. But that is one thing I do remember about her, and how she helped everybody else do the same.
When I first started the class, I thought, this is something I really want to get into. It's really interesting, and it's something I really want to learn.
So I do. I have one. I was in high school, and her name was Dr. Benson. She was an English teacher, and she made it very, very firm. You have to call her Dr. Benson, not Miss Benson. Which I guess at that point I was kind of, in high school, you want to do whatever, and you're not too focused, or I wasn't at the time. And she really helped me settle down and understand. She gave me an aha moment with English because I was really hard at that. And now I'm very grammar oriented when I do things, and I always relate that back to her. But she put that structure in me on how to do your work, how to stay organized, and how to keep things going. And I always appreciated her for that because she took the time. It was a stern way, but she also took the time, very helpful way to show you those things. And I always keep that with me.
I picked him because he's the one person that motivated me to work harder, and he's seen the potential I had for the work I did.
Y'all notice a lot of them pick their English teachers, like the teachers pick their English teachers. I like that idea. Again, a round of applause for Miranda and Chad.
So I chose counseling, just particularly because our students need it, and they are our future / our present, because they are joining the workforce. A lot of times they may not have parents, family members to steer them into the best direction, so I thought that this would be best.
So upon graduation from Ellender, I will be attending Louisiana State University to major in child and family studies to become a child life specialist. And I plan on joining the Tiger Band. Basically, I'd be working in the hospitals, working with children that are undergoing like cancer or anything, and making a hospital feel more like home for them, because it's a lot of times hospital can feel foreign for a lot of children.
So some of the thoughts I've had about Evan since knowing him since 7th grade and middle school is that he's always flourished at whatever he sets his mind to do. He's very adventurous and always eager to learn something. His personality is huge. Back then in 7th grade, he was quite pint-sized, so he's grown up some now. And so that's just something I've always admired about him.
With everything that happened through high school, going from COVID, from the hurricane, it was more of family and having a support system. And I'm very happy to say that I have people, family, friends, and faculty and staff here at Ellender that support me in everything that I do. So that motivates me.
So no one particular moment stood out with me with Evan, because again, he is just spectacular across the board. If I can clone him and make multiple little Evans, it would be great. Like, this world needs more Evans. He's always looking for the positive in people, in situations. He take your words away.
So whenever I first arrived at Oaklawn, it was like a new opportunity. It was a new school. And you know, junior high, you're making new friends and everything. So meeting Miss Spencer was just, you know, it was just a counselor kind of thing in 7th grade. Then my 8th grade year is whenever it was like, oh my gosh, it's almost high school, and then relationships started to develop. And it was like, I met somebody that finally had the same motivation as me, someone that always wanted to strive to be better every day, not certain goals like every 9 weeks, you know what I'm saying? And so whenever I got to high school, it was like you didn't know what you had until it was gone. And so freshman year, it was like, oh, where's Miss Spencer? Kind of like, where's she at kind of thing. But it was like, she's still at Oaklawn. So upon that, after freshman year, you know, got through it and everything. Then I got into my sophomore year, and it was like, we have a new counselor coming. And it's like, okay, what counselor is it? And it was Miss Spencer, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my chance to make that relationship even more better. Anytime I had the chance, I would walk into her office, asking her questions from college to, does this outfit look good? Asking advice just about life, or even just talking about like how our day is going, those kind of things.
I'm inspired by almost anything and everything. So I'm a person that looks for, it could be the good or bad, because that can inspire you to go either left or right. So keeping my eyes open to receive everything. I didn't particularly have an inspirational teacher. I was a student that just went to school, left school, I did what I had to do. I was, of course, inspired by family members like my mom. I'm a first-generation student, so she definitely instilled those things in me. However, from the education standpoint, I didn't have that. And so that is what motivates me to be real with my students, to be genuine, and go to the moon and back, sometimes back to the moon for them, because, you know, it definitely makes a big difference in who they become, having a great support system.
So I remember almost every single teacher that has taught me, from pre-K, from now. And I'm inspired by many different things, and everything motivates me. Like my musical educators, they help me become a better musician. My English teachers help me better at just understanding what is being presented towards me. However, I found whenever I was asked to choose someone that inspired me as a person, it was more of looking into, okay, who can I connect to on a personal level? And it was just like, I had to find somebody that I can see myself being in 20 years from now. And the reason why she inspires me so much is that every conversation you have, you're gonna leave with a smile. You're gonna leave with information that you didn't know before. You're gonna leave with a laugh. Anything positive. If you're having a bad day, that day is going to change. And that's what I wanna be whenever I'm older. I wanna be someone that comes into somebody's life that's not having the best day, and it's changed in an instant. And that's why she motivates me the most.
I don't know if you realized it, but in the video, whenever they are presented with the flower, the inspirational teacher does not know they're being chosen at that time. That is a total surprise to them at that time.
I chose to become an educator because as a little girl, I'd play teacher. I'd line up my dolls and all my little stuffed animals and I'd teach them. And then when I got older and got into high school, I had some really awesome math teachers that really inspired me to help others. And I realized that this is something I wanted to do. I wanted to help teenagers learn math and help prepare them for the world, the real world.
After graduating HL, I plan on attending Louisiana State University, and I want to major in computer sciences with a concentration in cybersecurity.
Well, Kobe is a very dedicated and determined young man. He's a great student. This is the second year that I have taught him, and I had him in pre-calculus, so it was a very small class, and calculus, which is a small class also. So as a class, we come together and we work together, and if he doesn't understand something, he asks questions, and he helps out other students. He works well with other students, and I really look forward to seeing what his future holds for him.
My main motivations for school would be my parents. They're always on me, always getting me up, always doing stuff for me. They really push me to where I am today. My teachers, especially when I first got here, all these new teachers and stuff, that was really helpful having that new support coming from the teachers here. And then even since we were platooned at that time, even my friends, I was able to see them very briefly, but it was really nice seeing them. That helped me really show up and through those tough times really be who I am.
Well, Kobe is famous for writing on the board, free day. So where I have my stuff written on the board about a test, he'll erase it and say free day instead. So he does that a lot, and it's very funny. And of course, I have to knock him down and say, no, it's not a free day. We are going to have class today. Kobe switched over to Bourgeois from South Terrebonne after Hurricane Ida because he did lose his home down there in Pontiac. Yeah, woo, Pontiac. And he lost his home down there, and he came over to Bourgeois. His first year here was the year that we were platooning with South Terrebonne. So he's had some very interesting years here at HL Bourgeois. So I'm happy that he did land here.
I was not actually supposed to be in her class that junior year. I was put in advanced math because she teaches advanced math, pre-calculus, algebra 2, and calculus. So I was put in her advanced math class at the beginning of the year. So really my first thought was, what am I doing in this class? But after all of that, of course, my first thought of her, because the whole school talks about her, you know, she's, oh, Miss Brown's this, Miss Brown's, she's really strict, she's mean, she's gives so much homework. So I was a little nervous at first, you know, going in for the first time, but she's awesome. After that first day, I knew they don't know what they're talking about. She's an amazing teacher.
Well, I have multiple math teachers that I have from high school. I did go to Vanderbilt for a short time, and I had Brother Donald McGrath for 2 years, and he was just an amazing teacher. He never let us give up. He would always say, I'm not going to spoon feed you, and I remember that all the time. And he would be available for help in the classroom every morning, and I was always there trying to get extra help just to make sure I understood it. And he was always willing to help, and to the day he passed away, he would still call me every year on my birthday to wish me a happy birthday. When my daughter was born, he, you know, congratulated me and all. He was even at my wedding. And then I have here from Bourgeois, when I came to AHL Bourgeois and I graduated from here, I had Algene Thibodeau and Marsha Poole, and I had Marsha Poole for calculus, and she was just all over the place. And her energy and just watching her all over the classroom, I'm like, I want to be that energetic.
Math has always been my favorite subject. I've been a math kid for a long time, and my biggest struggle with math was I never had a teacher that was on you, that was constantly helping, you know, over your shoulder, doing all this, you know, actually teaching. And Miss Brown was one of the first teachers that I've had that left an impact on me, not only in class, but after class, like with doing homework and stuff. I've never had a teacher like that, and it really, really helps and pushes me.
You know, the videos were starting to skip a little bit. I have to admit this, probably about 6 videos. I thought, not Eugenese, just not Eugenese, because I knew I was going to hear about it. Another round of applause for Kobe and Eugenie.
So I became an educator because I fell in love with teaching. It started out as a sub job when I was in college to earn extra money. I was a freelance writer, and I started subbing just to get a couple extra bucks for gas money here and there. And I found myself eventually wanting to take more sub jobs than writing jobs. And when I finally graduated and became a writer, I realized I missed talking to those kids about literature and writing and the power of all those things. And so that's when I realized this is what I meant to do. And I've been lucky enough to keep falling in love with teaching every year.
After I graduate from Terrebonne, I plan on going to college to major in civil engineering and hopefully try out for the college's guard and compete with color guard and winter guard.
I could talk about Anna for hours. I'm gonna use a word to describe Anna that I know she would not use to describe herself. Anna is a leader. Now, she is a quiet, steadfast, hardworking individual, but that is what makes you a leader, is because you lead from the middle. You may not be the kid out in the front, and you're not gonna be the kid lying in the back, but you're that kid in the middle who is helping out everyone else around them. I know that you have this unique ability to bring others up with you. You want the best for yourself, but what makes you so amazing and what you're gonna change the world with is that ability to look at someone else and pull them up to your expectation.
What motivates me is I genuinely just love to learn. I love the satisfaction that comes with achieving new skills and completing like difficult challenges in class.
There is a funny moment. Now I've taught Anna for 3 years. As her gifted teacher, we kind of grew together. But there is one moment in particular with Anna, and I hope you remember it. It was last year when we were as a class at 7th period reading The Great Gatsby. And I had had a really hard day, like a hard day that only a teacher can have. And it was the last hour of the day, and we were reading The Great Gatsby, and the narrator said the line, like the big climax happened, and then the narrator said the line that today was my birthday, and I'm 30, and he goes, and a decade of loneliness. And I couldn't keep my teacher mask on, and I just started cracking up. Like, I don't know why that line hit me, and the rest of the class was looking at me like I was crazy because I couldn't get myself back together. And I look over, and Anna was also absolutely losing it in the back of class. She was cracking up at the same time. And I was like, it needs to be on a t-shirt. And she said, and you know what else needs to be on a t-shirt, Ms. Hampton? This quote. And then the rest of the class, we all started talking about these kind of quotable quotes from Great Gatsby that, like, it ended up being a lesson on quoting through, you know, what should be on a funny t-shirt from the book. So that was one memorable moment that I remember of the two of us. And eventually the rest of the class caught on, but I couldn't get it together, and I look in the back and she was losing it too. So funny. And that was one of my favorite Anna moments.
My first impression when I walked into Ms. Hampton's class wasn't really her, it was the cat portraits that she has around her board. She has like Elizabethan and Victorian like era portraits of cats, and there's one dog. And I walked in and I noticed them, and I thought they were weird. But as we got through class, I realized that it was a way to show that she's not afraid to be herself. She's a unique teacher, and she's herself through and through. It made me not afraid to like speak my thoughts and be myself.
Yay! That's the whole point.
Her uniqueness shows me that I don't have to be afraid to be myself in class.
That is a tough question. Who is my inspirational teacher? I come from a long line of teachers. My grandmother was a teacher, my mom, my sister is still a teacher in Terrebonne Parish. But when I really think about who inspires me to be better every day, I have to say that my coworkers and my team at Terrebonne High, they really inspire me to be better every day. We lift each other up. There's a lot of teamwork and teacher efficacy happening here where we work together. And I think we're really that mindset of when we all do better, you know, all the kids do better. You know, when the tide rises, all the boats come up. So I feel like that is something that really inspires me on the daily. To see the good things that are happening in our halls makes me want to be better so these kids can be the best version of themselves.
I chose Ms. Hampton because she makes class fun. It's never like a boring, like read this and then answer these questions. We're always interacting as a class and having fun with whatever we're learning and being genuinely interested in what the period or the time frame that we're learning about.
How about a nice round of applause for Anna and Emily? Again, thank y'all very much for letting us in. If there are any administrators at the schools, thank you, because we just sort of tramped in there and took them into a room and did that, but we thought it would be better for you to see their environment. As a matter of fact, I wish we could have got more of Emily's class because it's very entertaining. So again, thank you all very much. Again, we are going to release those as soon as I finish here. I'll go back to the other side of the hospital and release those to YouTube for you to view. And I know the guys at HTV are also going to air that. This is what I consider probably the funnest part of the show because it only started a couple of years ago, and it's just so rewarding to two lucky individuals in the room. I'd like to call up Dr. Mark McLean from Fletcher, and I'll let him sort of describe why he's here.
Wow, I don't know who to blame for being right after these incredible videos, right? I don't know if it's Stan or Ashley or who, but those were just amazing, weren't they? I mean, the stories, the inspiration. I'm just honored to be here with such an amazing group of students, educators, and parents. I mean, let's a hand of applause for the parents, too. A lot of people involved in all of these activities. So I'm just honored to be here. And so I'm going to take a few minutes to introduce you in a little bit more detail to someone that you've actually already met this evening. But I'm going to give you a little bit more information and an amazing story about this individual. So I'm going to go ahead and say her name right now so that you will all know who we're talking about. And this is Miranda Otan. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Miranda and something that we are going to share with her from Fletcher. And I'm so excited to be able to do this. So share this moment with me and learn about this amazing person. Amanda's story is one of resilience, determination, and unwavering perseverance in the face of adversity. Throughout her time in high school, Miranda encountered numerous challenges that tested her strength and character, shaping her into the remarkable person she is today. Miranda's struggles began with a family medical emergency when her mother suffered an unexpected aneurysm, requiring 9 surgeries in just 6 weeks. Despite the emotional and financial strain, Miranda stood strong, helping to provide support for her family during this difficult time. Tragedy struck again when Hurricane Ida destroyed her family's home, leaving them displaced and vulnerable. Miranda and her family faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives amidst the chaos and uncertainty that followed the natural disaster. Despite these immense challenges, Miranda remained undeterred in her pursuit of academic success. Through sheer determination and perseverance, she maintained an impressive 3.4 GPA in high school, defying the odds stacked against her. Miranda's resilience extended beyond the classroom as she immersed herself in extracurricular activities, including her involvement in the community. Her leadership skills shone through as she took on roles such as class leader and local vice president for Skills USA. She earned the Statesman Award and ranked first place in the state pin design at the Skills USA Louisiana Leadership Conference. She was inducted and is a current member of the National Honor Society. She volunteers within her church and peer mentors classmates in important electrical lessons. It's clear to me how she deservingly earned the recognition as the Outstanding Student of the Year in 2023. Miranda's story serves as an inspiration to us all who face adversity, reminding us that with resilience and determination, we can overcome even the greatest of challenges. Through maturity, patience, and leadership, she emerged stronger, more compassionate, and determined to make a difference in her community. As she embarks on the next chapter of her journey, her unwavering spirit continues to light the way for others, proving that triumph is possible no matter what the obstacles we face. Miranda, I have to tell you, my office is in the Schriever campus. I look out my window and I get to see all the line worker polls and things related to that program. I call it the Schriever Cirque du Soleil. And I think we should be selling tickets for those performances as the people go up and down those poles and all the work that they do. So I'm excited that I'm going to be able to look out that window and see you there do it in that program. So Fletcher is proud to present Miranda a scholarship in the amount of $500 for all the hard work you've put forth these past few years. So congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. McLean. And now I would like to have Courtney Cassard come up from Nicholls State University. Courtney, I was about to say, married to one of the best people in the world, G. Cassard, with a great son, Cruz Cassard. But Courtney is here again on behalf of Nicholls State University, and she'll explain exactly why she's here.
Wow, congratulations to everyone. We are so proud of all of y'all. But it took a whole village to get you to where you are tonight, and it's so special, and you're so accomplished. So I have some words for the students, and I also have some words for the parents, but teachers. I mean, we all know that there's, I always say that there's two classes of people that it's a calling, and it's teachers and nurses. And the difference that you make every day to all of the students in our parish is so inspiring and so special. And Mr. Bubba, you do know Kenya Fields is the gold standard of guidance counselors, bar none. Nothing, I promise. To the parents, I mean, every the accomplishments of your students, they didn't get to where they are by themselves. You probably packed ice chests and, took them to Little League games and took them to library story times. Because all of their tremendous accomplishments, you had something to do with all of that. So give yourselves a pat on the back to the parents, because, it takes all of us. And to the students, these accomplishments, they didn't happen your senior year. They didn't happen overnight. You've all been working on this and honing your talents since you've been little boys and girls. And, to quote one of the biggest literary geniuses of all time, Dr. Seuss, he says, congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You've got brain in your head and feet in your shoes, and only you can decide which direction you choose. And some of you are going to come to Nicholls. Some of you are going to go into the military. Some of you might go to that purple and gold school with the live mascot down the street. We're not judging. It's okay. Military, Fletcher, whatever. Just as long. What you have to know is that we're depending on you. The great state of Louisiana is depending on all of you to take up the mantle, and make success of our future. And so I think that we couldn't be in better hands than the students that we have here tonight, for our future. So congratulations to all of you. We're so proud. And I know parents, especially the moms out there, I have a child. He graduated from high school last year, so you are going to need Kleenex for the next couple of months. When it comes to graduation and baccalaureate, it is on sale at Dollar General today, okay? So with that being said, Nicholls State University, no matter what direction you choose, we have so many great things going on, and us in the great state of Louisiana, we're working on a lot of issues that's going to affect all of us. The coast, we're losing miles and miles of coastline, and so we're in the process right now of building a coastal center because we want to be on the leading edge of the research that halts coastal restoration. So there's a lot of great things happening at Nicholls that's going to affect all of us. So it's a great time to be a colonel. Our athletic teams are doing great. Baseball team, football is just coming off of a conference championship. So it's a great time to be a colonel. And we're really excited to start orientations and to welcome some of you as our freshmen of 2024. So with that being said, Nicholls State University is very proud. I have $1,000 for the first year study to Miss Ariane Verrett. Come get your scholarship. Congratulations. I also brought, here you go, girl. Congratulations. Absolutely. I have a present for all of y'all from Nicholls. So they're over here. But congratulations again to the parents, to the amazing teachers, to the administrators, to this group that does such a great job of honoring these students that are so deserving. And good luck to all of you in your future. If you come to Nicholls, come, feel free. Anything you need, come say hello. And good luck to the rest of you. Thank you.
Nice round of applause for Ariane. Thank you, Courtney. By the way, real quickly, Courtney's son was actually a Teenager of the Year in Ascension Parish last year, so congratulations to her. Now, you know, the show, so to speak, sort of culminates with this terrific award we're about to present, the J.J. Buquet Award of Distinction. And to do that, I would like to call up Ms. Glennie Lee Buquet and Andre Casey, and they're going to tell you a bit about it, and they're going to tell you about the recipient. And just in case, by the way, I do want to add this too. And they may have said this. I hate to steal y'all thunder if it is in what they're going to say. But one year we didn't specifically address this. This goes to someone who has graduated in our public school system here in Terrebonne Parish. So we do want to make that known, that it's a graduate of someone from our Terrebonne Parish public school system. Ms. Glennie Lee, Andre.
Thank you, Stan. We're all very, very proud of our public school system, and that's why we've all, as the executive committee that was presented to you, as you know, we always have our spotlight on our public school system and the support that we give there. And I won't keep you any longer. I'll hand it over to Ida.
Good evening. Wow, what a night. I have to say, I can't wait to see the chapters that you all continue to write. And just a little bit about this award. It is in the name of my father, which is the James J. Buquet Jr. Award of Distinction. JJ's my brother, so we'll make that distinction. But my dad was part of the founding group that in '91 came together and wanted to put together TFAE. I had the pleasure of serving the first 12 years on the board with my dad. He was passionate about raising money for this great cause. He was the, I guess it was the endowment chairman would be the proper title that he had. And it didn't deter him that we were going through some recovery times in our community from the oil industry. He went out, beat the bushes, and over the course of time, along with many board members and many great people in this community that gave and gave again, and sometimes gave again, still giving, the goal was $1 million. And to put that in perspective for you youngsters here in the room, that would be about $2.2 million today. So it's a lot of money. And today to think that the coffers, I think I heard 1.7, and that money is endowed and will continue to perpetuate education in this parish. So that was the goal, that was the dream. And so it's my honor tonight to actually honor someone who also finished at Terrebonne High School. And just to give you a little bit of background information, he was described as a significant behind-the-scenes guy in his events and his endeavors. He founded his business in 1980, Alarm Detection Systems. He has a long list of accomplishments, and I'm just going to touch on a few. He was a TFAE endowment investor 33 years ago. He was a member of the Louisiana Burglar and Fire Alarm Association. He is a member of Maria Immaculata Catholic Church, a longtime member of their choir, a lifelong member of the Louisiana Automatic Fire Alarm Association. He was a member of the Terrebonne High School Athletic Booster Club and Parent for Education member. He's a lifelong member of Crew of Homas and a past king, so he has some fun on the side. He has always been active in McDonald Children's Services and was the volunteer activist recipient several years ago. He's a Rotary Club of Houma member and a 6-time Paul Harris member. These are just a few of the many, many things that our recipient has done. He is a man who loves and gives back to his community. He feels that has been so good to him and his family. So without further ado, it is with great pleasure that I have the honor to call Mr. Reuben Williams to the podium.
I'm going to be just a couple of seconds here with you, but I want to first of all
congratulate the young people for their abilities and what they've been able to do. And I have to tell you, you need to also communicate with your other classmates to tell them to also stay in Terrebonne Parish and do what they can to help the parish. We are going through a little bit of a tough time right now compared to what times were in the past, but I don't think it's going to be for very long. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I was very lucky 55 years ago to meet this lady, which we got married 53 and a half years ago. And she has been a real guiding light for me in doing things that we were able to do. So I want to introduce my wife, Diane, if she'll stand up for just a second. But the reason I'm also saying that about the years is that time flies by. And my parents told me this. I only had one grandparent that I really knew, and she would tell me this too. And many adults would tell me the same thing about time flying by. You need to get out there today and do the things that you want to do. And you need to get out there today and do the things that will make this parish a better parish. I last week was given the award, or not given, but I was told that I was going to be the recipient of the award. And it was very emotional for me because I knew Mr. Jimmy Buquet personally. And I know there aren't a whole lot of people in here who knew Mr. Jimmy. But I will say this, that Mr. Jimmy was the gold standard, and that's GOAL and GOLD for making things better in this parish. And if anything was ever needed, Mr. Jimmy was called upon, and he spearheaded many a project. And you don't have buildings and awards and everything else named after you if you didn't do something for the parish. So he was truly a blessing for all of us, and he will be a person that hopefully you young people will be able to follow in his footsteps and even do better than he did, which is going to be a tough task to face. Thank you very much, though. Hope you don't mind me saying that.
With that, it brings an end to our ceremony tonight. Thank you to all. Congratulations to all who received awards tonight. Again, we enjoy doing this. I speak for the TFAE when I say this. It's a passion that we enjoy, and we want to sort of extend the positive of what's going on in the school system. And I think you can see tonight there is a lot of positive.
It was great, man. This is so fun, seeing all the people, seeing all the other great scholars over there behind the camera. You can't quite see them. It was amazing seeing all these people out here. They've all, similar to me, we all have common obstacles we've had to face. It's great seeing all these people out here.
Honestly, I think it was really great seeing all of the other scholars and being able to see their stories as well. And I think it's really nice to be able to show our teachers and lift them up as well.
Today was awesome. It was a great day to show that, I'm not the only one that wants to make a change. There's a lot of kids in this parish and in the school systems that want to make a change, and to show our appreciation for those that really truly make the difference in the world and in our lives and what we're going to be in the future.
Today was great. It was really nice to hear all of the distinguished scholars' stories and their experiences through education and their teachers and their just stories to where they got to how they got to where they are.
I thought today was really great, seeing everybody, achieving great things and seeing how everybody is able to make changes and wants to make change. So I thought today was pretty great.
I thought today was an amazing experience. The crowd was amazing. I love watching me, Miss Fields' video and everybody else's videos. It was just an all-time experience. I will remember it for the rest of my life.
Today was a fun event. Everybody getting highlighted, all of our adversity that we went through, like how we came through it, and us really being able to highlight the teachers that made a difference. It was a fun experience.
It was an amazing day. It was very a memorable event. I feel very grateful, and I'm very proud of the other people. I know we've all worked hard to get to a certain point, and it feels good to be rewarded for all the hard work that we put in.
It was great. It was a great experience to be able to be here and receive a scholarship and make memories with a teacher that taught me a lot.
I thought tonight was nice. It was nice to meet other people from different schools and see what they've accomplished in high school.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.